Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, and thank you for stopping by. All right, guys, what we're going to talk about on this episode of the Bullet Points is something that I honestly feel needs to be addressed. I'm about to show you a tweet from Chris Murphy. This is the senator. This is Mr. Gun Control in the Senate of the United States of America. Everything's going to be linked in the description box below, and I cannot wait to hear what you guys think about this one because this begs a very important question. Now, what I'm about to go into, like I said, is always linked, but check this out. Chris Murphy, this is the guy who's responsible for all the Senate bipartisan gun control, the guy who's constantly pushing gun control bills, the guy that Chuck Schumer puts in charge of gun control negotiations. This is the guy. He's in the pocket of Everytown for Gun Safety, GetRich.org, and Moms Demand Action. This guy is directly tied to all the main gun control groups in the United States. But I'm going to show you what he tweeted out in light of the most recent tragedy in Walmart. All right? Chris Murphy from Connecticut. We have made a decision to saturate this nation with weapons without any regard for a person's fitness to own a tool of potential mass murder. It doesn't have to be this way. We could and must choose a different reality. Now, that's very flowery language. It makes you feel good on the inside if you're a gun control advocate. However, I have a very important question about that. What and why are you referring to it? What is it you're referring to and why are you referring to it? Because without specificity, you can't really put forth a policy proposal, can you? But let me show you as we go forward what Virginia is actually done in the past around gun control. Virginia took a huge step forward in 2020, enacting a historic slate of gun violence prevention laws, all in the NRA's backyard. State law now requires background checks on all firearm sales. That's a checklist, wish list of the gun control organizations. Restricts access to firearms by people in crisis and disarms domestic abusers. The boyfriend loophole is now closed. The Charleston loophole is now closed in Virginia. Those are both loopholes they've termed. And they also do red flag laws. So in Virginia, of which we've had two terrible tragedies occur in the last 2 weeks, both of which with handguns, both of which occurred outside the confines of red flag laws, of universal background checks, and number 14 on the United States list on Everytown for Gun Safety for gun safety. So what are you proposing? Because everything that has been detailed out and laid out as the perfect solution fails. You and I both know the answer to that question because they're alluding to something different. In fact, the article I'm going to reference here in a second shows you just that. But here's the report card for Virginia. This is again from Everytown for Gun Safety. They have foundational laws. They have gun industry and product safety laws. They're a little weak on those according to Gun Safety, or Everytown for Gun Safety. Guns in public, they're great on that. Keeping guns out of the wrong hands, they're great on that. Policing and civil rights, they get 50%. And sales and permitting, they get 50%. That's with universal background checks and background checks on every single thing. Now, what's causing this whole focus is the tragedy that occurred in Virginia at a Walmart. Now, there's a few more details the media is coming out with, and I want to show you, and then I'm going to tie all of this together. Gunman in Virginia Walmart shooting legally purchased firearm that day. What we know. So again, just from that headline, and that's if that's truly what happened in reporting is accurate, you have red flag laws, universal background checks, and a background check system that did not catch a criminal to be. So the next obvious choice, if you're a gun controller, is to say, well, then we just need to get rid of all guns because our laws aren't working. And that's the point of this video. They put these laws in place and they don't work. They consistently ask for more laws. And when those don't work, they say, well, we just have to change the whole system because our laws aren't working. Even though the whole time we told you the laws wouldn't work. The problem is in here. The problem is not right here. Let's keep going because as we continue this fight, this is important to know. Chesapeake, Virginia. The man accused of fatally shooting 6 people and wounding multiple others at a Walmart in Virginia late Tuesday legally purchased that gun that morning, police said Friday, from an actual legal shop. Went through the FBI background check system. All the laws were in place in Virginia, and this is the second time we've had an issue in Virginia in the past 3 weeks. Something's wrong, and it's not the laws. And it's not the gun control either. Check this out. The suspected gunman, identified as legally purchased a 9mm handgun used in the shooting from a local store early Tuesday, police said. He had no criminal history and died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. No criminal history, passed the background check, didn't have the red flag law as an option, and basically every single gun control law that you've asked for outside of New York level, California level gun control has failed. At what point do we just say the laws don't work and we need to address the actual problem, not just the Second Amendment rights of an entire population, of which is part of our fabric of our nation? Just saying. Let's keep going. Like the large majority of U.S. states, here it comes, Virginia does not require a waiting period between the time of purchases and the actual physical transfer of the firearm, according to the nonprofit Giffords Law Center to Prevent Gun Violence. And that is the culmination right there. We need red flag laws because that would prevent all these tragedies. Well, they didn't. Oh, you know what? You're right. We need universal background checks and red flag laws. That didn't work. You know what? We need a mandatory waiting period. The death of 1,000 cuts is what we are witnessing right here. You can put every law in the books that you want, but a criminal is still going to violate the law because that is the definition of a criminal, as Jared at Guns and Gadgets likes to say. The problem, again, to reiterate, is in here. We have a culture that does not value life, that does not value any self-respect, and does not value community whatsoever. We have become so isolated and so indifferent to death that this is the outcome. This is a cultural problem, all right, but it has nothing to do with the Second Amendment rights of an entire population based around freedom. It has to do with the degradation of morals and ethics. I don't want to get too deep on the soapbox. I got one more thing for you. Police on Friday also said officers executed a search warrant of Bing's home and found a box of ammunition and various items related to the handgun, including a box, receipt, and other paperwork, further verifying that this was a handgun, not the all-scary, ultimate powerful assault weapon. The other instance in Virginia, also a handgun. The problem is not the platform of violence. The problem is the violence itself. The violence lives in here. It doesn't live in here. You can look as far as the tragedies in Idaho with the college students when a knife was involved. Criminals are going to criminal, and that's what I've got for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.